Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Magic. Imagine a night that seemed perfectly ordinary. City lights twinkling, the night air calm, and everyone busy with their own lives. But in a small corner of the world, a Weverse notification made thousands of hearts race. Jungkook has started a live broadcast. No countdown, no teaser. Just Jungkook, sitting casually, with one ear of his headphones deliberately left uncovered. Trivial? Or a sign that he wasn't alone that night? And could it be that Jimin was nearby? For most people, that night was just like any other. The city lights kept shimmering, the night air stayed still, and life went on as usual. But for those who had pressed the turn on notifications button on the Weverse app, hearts full of hope just to catch a glimpse of their beloved idol, this night brought an unexpected surprise. And sure enough, suddenly their phone screens lit up. A notification appeared. Jungkook has started a live broadcast. Without any preamble, he was already in front of the camera. No dramatic countdown, no teaser announced days in advance. Just Jungkook. A figure who, to millions around the world, is a superstar, but in that moment felt so simple. The background was plain, almost bare. No spotlights, no visual effects, no booming intro music. Just him, sitting comfortably, with a shiny new microphone as if it had just been taken out of its box. To outsiders, it might have been just a technical moment, a singer trying out new equipment. But to those who know Jungkook well, this was not just a test. Something felt different. There was a warmth seeping between the pauses in his words, a closeness that couldn't be explained. Jungkook wasn't just showing off his new microphone. He was creating a small space, intimate, without protocol, without distance, where he and his fans could meet in the most genuine way. The way he greeted them, the way his eyes sometimes avoided the camera then returned to focus, the shy smile playing on his lips, even the moments when he allowed silence to fill the air, all of it felt like an unspoken message. I'm here. I want you to know I'm thinking of you. Yet among all of this, one detail triggered a massive wave among fans. A detail that, to some, might seem insignificant, but in the fandom world, could mean everything. His headphones were covering only one ear, his left ear deliberately left uncovered. To casual fans, it might just be about comfort, but to those attuned to every tiny signal from Jungkook, this opened the door to speculation. Was someone with him that night? And more specifically, was Jimin nearby? To the outside world, this might sound like a wild theory. But within ARMY, especially those who have followed Jungkook and Jimin's relationship, known as Jikook, it's a valid question. Their history is long, full of moments too consistent to ignore. They are not just bandmates. They are two souls who always seem to find their way back to each other, no matter what happens. Many fans believe that Jimin's presence can be felt even without seeing him. There's a certain energy that appears in the way Jungkook talks, the way he smiles, even in his silences, as if silently saying, "He's here." That night, it was the little things that stood out. The way Jungkook lowered his head and smiled for no apparent reason. The fleeting glances toward the edge of the screen, as if listening to something or someone. Pauses that didn't feel like he'd run out of words, but like he was speaking to someone who wasn't in front of the camera. Picture this. He's sitting in a chair, one hand adjusting the microphone, the other playing with the control buttons. Every so often, he lets out a soft laugh, but never explains why. Off-screen, perhaps Jimin is sitting on the sofa, wearing a loose hoodie, watching him and occasionally throwing in comments only Jungkook's uncovered ear could hear. In a world full of cameras and public attention, moments like this are a rare luxury. No production crew, no reporters, no thousands of lenses aimed at them. Just two people comfortable in the silence they've created together. For those who have followed BTS's journey from the start, Jimin and Jungkook's relationship isn't just an exaggerated bromance. It's the story of two young men who grew up together, transitioning from their teenage years to adulthood under the relentless pressure of a world that never gives them a break. They've had disagreements, they've kept their distance, but somehow, they always find their way back to the middle ground. The trust they've built shows in every interaction. When Jimin is on stage, Jungkook always knows when to give support without being asked. When Jungkook is tired or nervous, Jimin is always the first to appear at his side. And they do it without needing official statements, without writing about it on social media. As if their relationship is a secret that isn't really a secret, visible to anyone who cares to notice, but never flaunted for public consumption. That's why, even though the live stream that night was short and simple, for some, it meant more than a grand concert. Because between the sound of a new microphone and casual chatter, there was a feeling of home that's hard to describe. The sense that maybe, just maybe, Jimin was sitting nearby, part of that silence. And in the minds of fans, countless scenarios began to form. Maybe Jimin smiled at Jungkook every time he focused on adjusting the controls. Maybe they shared a drink between moments on air, or exchanged playful glances only they understood. There's no visual proof to capture, but that's what makes it precious. Because love, closeness, and comfort don't always need proof. Sometimes, the most beautiful things are the ones you can only feel. Those who have followed Jikook for a long time know this isn't the first time such signs have appeared. We've seen moments when Jimin touched Jungkook's arm on stage, or when Jungkook was caught on camera watching Jimin with a gaze he couldn't hide. There was even an old broadcast where Jungkook jokingly said he wanted to shower with Jimin, something he clearly wouldn't say unless they shared a deep level of comfort. Now, with BTS in a transitional phase towards solo projects, fans can only hope that moments like this happen more often. Rumors say they might release a duet, and if that's true, it won't just be a song. It would be a kind of love letter wrapped in melody, addressed to each other and to everyone who has witnessed their journey. That night, the live stream may have lasted only a few minutes, but it left an echo that lingered in the hearts of those who watched. Because that's how this relationship works. It's not always seen, but it's always felt. For most, it was just a brief live with nothing significant. But for those who know how to read the signs, it was proof that a true connection doesn't need words. Sometimes, silence is enough, as long as our hearts know how to listen. In a world full of cameras and spotlights, moments like this are treasures, because not all intimacy must be shared, and not all feelings need proof. That night may have been just a short live stream, but for those who are sensitive, every smile, pause, and glance from Jungkook held a story. A story only hearts that believe could read. If you also felt there was something more behind this live, share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss any future Jikook discussions. See you in the next Jikook Magic.